Okay, let's go. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, here we are once again. Real world advice from a grown-ass man. Real world advice from a grown-ass man. Yeah. Real world advice from a grown-ass man. Once again, I'm giving out my real world advice. Real world advice. All right, here we are. Back again, special bonus episode again, trying this out again this week. Before I even get started, though, I know people always ask me about my gaming share when I'm on Twitch, and I'm on Twitch daily, Erik Griffin Gaming. But I'm sponsored by EWIN Racing. That's EWIN Racing, RASING.com. And they got these great chairs. I got this chair from them. It's awesome. It's got great lumbar support. I sit in the chair a lot when I'm gaming. I'm there for hours sometimes, and my back never hurts. It's very comfortable. It's easy to put together. And if you would like a chair, you'll get 30% off when you use promo code Erik. So check that out, y'all. EWIN Racing, promo code Erik. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Riffin with Griffin, but it's real world advice from a grown-ass man. Just doing this separately. So here we are. So let's just get right into it. I got some good ones this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Riffin with Griffin this week too. I had Vincent Oshana. He hit on some hot button topics. I see the comments are on fire. Half the people hate him, half the people love him. It's very polarizing, but we're in a polarizing time, with the election and trying to find out who, is the guy going to concede? Is it going to work out the way? Who knows what's going to happen? So we're still playing it day by day. We'll see what happens on January 20th if it all works out the way it's supposed to. But anyways, Vincent Oshana was on this week, so make sure you check that out. On the feed, wherever you listen to your podcasts, wherever you listen to them, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those kind of places. My podcast is there, and obviously here on YouTube, also at Erik Griffin Comedy. I need to change that to Riffin with Griffin, but we'll get into that. I'm a one-man show, no producer. I'm all by myself. But anyways, first question up on Real World Advice from a Grown-Ass Man. Oh, I got to use the mic. Real World Advice from a Grown-Ass Man. All right, I don't know if that worked out or not. But anyways, first one I got is, I'm 23, and I feel like I'm rushing to try and accomplish a lot before I reach 30. Overwhelming. Help. Well, this is all about expectations and where are they coming from. Sometimes we have pressure because of our family. I think that's where a lot of pressure comes from. Pressure comes from family, and they want you to do certain things at a certain time. Sometimes it's pressure to be in a relationship. Sometimes it's pressure to have kids. Sometimes it's pressure to go to college and school, or get a degree, or it's stay in the family business, or whatever it might be. Sometimes you get a lot of pressure from the family, and you take that on, and you think that, you think that, oh man, if I'm not doing exactly what they want me to do, I'm failing, or I'm not doing enough. But, at a certain point, you're 23 years old. Even if you're living at home, you can drink, you can go to war, you can make your own decisions and make your own choices. And so that's what you have to start doing. And sometimes in our life, it gets to a point in our life where what our parents want for us and what we want for ourselves, sometimes those things come to a fork in the road and they go in different directions. And then you have to come back around and show them, hey, because of all the things that you taught me, because of the if you had good parents, you know what I mean? You could, you show them that you're making your own choices and decisions, even if they don't agree with them, but you took their guidance and their tutelage and you pursued this thing that you want to do. So, hey, listen, if you don't feel like you're doing enough, take an assessment of yourself and be like, have you set goals? Have you accomplished those goals? Because if you haven't accomplished those goals, then maybe you haven't done enough. But if you're just floundering around, or if you're just on a steady pace and you feel like, hey, you're happy and content with your life, don't put any undue pressure on yourself. But at the same time, too, though, if you're trying to strive for greatness, some people strive under pressure situations like that. if you're telling yourself, I need to do more, because that's how you get yourself to like really strive through. And maybe even if you don't accomplish all these like fantastic goals that you want, that process of trying to accomplish those goals, you really are living. So, you're making yourself feel overwhelmed, so I would just sit back, take a second, look at all the things that you have done, look at the things that you want to do, and see if you're on the path to doing those things, or look back and be like, hey, you know what? I've actually done quite a bit, and let me enjoy this. So take some time, enjoy life, plan things out, look at yourself, take an assessment, and be like, all right, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for someone else? And is there a middle ground there? And there's no reason to be overwhelmed, And if you do feel overwhelmed, channel that overwhelmedness into accomplishing even more, if that's where you think you need to be. So I think you're going to be fine. Anybody that feels like in a rush to try to accomplish things, they probably have big goals, big dreams, big desires, and you see the end goal. But enjoy that process. Enjoy that process of reaching that end goal. You're really that's the living, man. So good luck with that, all right? Next one. Are open relationships ever a good idea? Well, like, I don't know. An open relationship, to me, it takes a real maturity to get past the selfishness and possessiveness that you feel when you're in a relationship with someone, especially intimate. You really feel a sense of like, this is my person. This relationship is mine. And you really, and then like those insecurities start kicking in. If you know someone's with someone else, if you don't have a core, strong foundation of trust and understanding with this person, how are you you're not going to be okay with them being with other people. I'm just looking at this practically. I mean, just on face value, I would say no. Just on its face, on the surface, I would say no. I don't think it's a good idea. Because it's like, and then you have people say like, well, why do you need to be in an open relationship? Is this thing not enough? Or are you not committed? Or why even be in a relationship? It's like you want to have your cake and eat it too. I mean, there's such a thing as polyamorous relationships. Listen, I'm sitting in front of my computer right now, and let's actually. That's why I'm doing it right here now. Let's look it up. Polyamorous. Let's look it up. Polyamory, however you say it, is the practice of or desire for intimate relationships with more than one partner, with the informed consent of all partners involved. It has been described as consensual, ethical, and responsible non-monogamy. Whew. That's I don't even know what to say about that, but that's a lot. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you're saying you want the other person to understand that you're being with other people, and they accept it, they acknowledge it, they're saying they're okay with it, and you're also saying that you're okay with it. I mean, that's a lot to wrap your brain around. If you're not ready to really delve deep and really think about all that means, then no, I don't think it's a good idea. And it's a lot to look. Being in one relationship is a lot. It's hard. It's challenging. It's demanding. It's to worry about somebody else's happiness and their desires and making sure they're happy and making sure you're happy. It's a lot just with one person. So if you don't have the mental maturity to deal with it emotionally and even the physical demands as well, I don't think it's a good idea. So I don't even know the way I'm talking about it. You probably not even thinking about it on this level, but there are people out there that are living this kind of lifestyle, polyamory. So, I think it can work, but it doesn't work for most people. And I think the level that you have to be at, like I say, emotionally, the maturity you have to have, it's a whole other level that it's like, why put yourself through that? So I don't necessarily think it's a good idea, but hey, you do you, boo. Good luck with that. All right. Here's another one. Is it possible to be more than friends with a girl who's unfortunately really damaged? Okay, let me stop here for a second because I forgot to say this in the beginning, and I usually say this in the beginning, but I say it now. I'm just giving you guys my practical common sense advice. But if you have some real issues, real problems, anxiety, depression, if you have any kind of sort of thing that I encourage you to go get therapy. I encourage you to go get help. If you're asking a question about a loved one that is going through something difficult, and my advice to you is, as always, is to seek out help, because there are a lot of services out there if you haven't, especially if you have insurance. And even if you don't, there's some places you can call. There's some resources you can look into. And I encourage that, because therapy is not a bad thing. It's just a way to help you organize your thoughts, a way to help you to organize your thoughts with a professional so you can trace the dots to see why you feel the way you feel. That's what therapy is at the core of it. They're not going to solve your problems. They're just going to help you understand them. And when you have understanding, it's easier just to deal with or try to deal with. At least you have a blueprint, So I encourage that with all of this. And I'm not pretending to be a psychologist or a doctor or anything like that. I'm just out here giving my advice, but I do encourage you all to get help. And so when I hear this question right here, is it possible to be more than friends with a girl who is unfortunately really damaged? I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, it's like when you're in a relationship, isn't it best to be in a relationship with someone who is all there, someone who is at the best version of themselves? So if you really care about this person, make sure that, you don't care about the person, or part of the reason why you care about them is because they're damaged. Like, is there something about you that you have this, like, I want to fix it personality? Because, I've been like that in my past. When I went to therapy, the first thing my therapist told me, and it was just like, it really shook me, and it's why I stayed with this particular therapist, is she said I had an exaggerated sense of responsibility. And it really shook me, because it just means that, like, I get people in my life, and I feel like responsible for them. I feel like I'm supposed to, like, do more than I really have to. I take on their issues and problems, and I make it like my problems. And if they're not doing well, I feel like I failed. And that's really an exaggerated sense of responsibility. It's like, it's not my responsibility. People make choices. You can help. And this just goes into, like, when you're around people who are taking drugs or drinking, and, you feel like if you're not doing all that you can do, you're failing them. But it really boils down to, hey, they've made a choice. You've done the best you can do, and you have to have boundaries. You know what I mean? You have to have your boundaries. So all that being said, is when I hear this question, I just say, look, if you're trying to be a friend, if you're having real feelings for this person, I would imagine that you would want that person to be, happy and healthy. You would want that person to be the best version of themselves, making a choice and a decision that is coming from a place that they are at a stable situation, and they go, I am now stable. I'm now feeling secure and healthy. And now I want to bring you into my life, because you don't want to become someone's crutch, or you don't want it to be that they're just, because when I hear really damaged, I hear someone who probably has a lot of trust issues, and that's something that they're going to need help overcoming. And maybe a romantic situation is not the best thing at first, or maybe it's not healthy for that person, or for you, for that matter, in that situation. So I don't know. I'm really torn on this one. I think it is possible, but how you approach it, that's the important part. How do you approach it? If you're ready to be really patient and understanding and build trust for this person so they can be the best version of themselves, then yeah, if you're willing to do all that. But if it's just about, like, you have feelings and you have intimate feelings for this person, and, if you're ask yourself too, are you attracted to damaged people? Do you want damaged people around you? Does it make you feel good? Because I was starting to think about that even for myself. Like, why are a lot of my friends these people that are like, they need me? Do I need to be needed? So really, like assess yourself too. Like, don't put it all on this person. Don't put it all on this girl. think about you. Like, am I attracting this? Because you don't want that either. So again, it just takes a lot of maturity and understanding, and it's not easy, man. So if you really care about this person, then make sure you're in it for the right reasons, and you take the steps and be patient along the way to build trust for her. Because you didn't go into details about what the damage is, but I can just only imagine. I mean, I just thinking about people that I've met and the damage that they've gone through, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes to even be friends with people like that. Once you start to really have your boundaries up and start to make sure you look out for you, because you got to look out for you and your well-being. Because remember, it's just like being on an airplane. You can't help anyone with their gas mask until you put it on yourself first. So, anyways, good luck with that situation. All right, here's another good one, and this is present for what's going on in the times right now, and I thought this would be a good one to answer. My friends think I'm racist just because I support Trump. What should I do? And he's Mexican, by the way, he says. I mean, this is like what's wrong to me with our country right now in the first place. It's very polarizing. Politics are very polarizing. The fringe of each party has hijacked it and made it like this hyper understanding of what being a conservative and a liberal, Republican and Democrat even means. And then you have this guy who, on the surface, some of the things he was saying and doing and encouraging and not saying, the things he didn't say, he very much was like, you came across as he was just for the Republican Party and no one else. And then you have people who, they label that, oh, he's racist and all this. But at the core, Republican values, they're not bad for America. They're not bad for families. They're not bad for business. They're not bad for you. I mean, that's why we have checks and balances in the system. There's a lot of things about what the Democrats stand for and are going for. There's a lot of things there, too, that are great for the country. I think when these two sides work together and then there's a compromise between the parties, we get the best out of them. But you shouldn't feel bad for being like, hey, I support what the guy stood for, behind what he stood for, because he actually did accomplish a lot of things. I mean, African American unemployment, Latino unemployment, female unemployment was down. There's a lot of things that you can look at. There is a checklist of things you can go, well, these are the things that happened during the Trump presidency. They're just outweighed by the media, the scrutiny that he got, and some of the things he said and how he carried himself. All that stuff outweighed all of this other stuff. So look, 70-something million people voted for the guy. The other side wants to say those people are stupid. But I tell you what, all the people that think you're racist, you need to ask them, tell me something that they know about Biden or any Democratic congressman, senator. Like, what do they actually know is what I'm saying. A lot of these people that talk smack about politics and they talk smack about Trump, they know nothing about their own party. They couldn't tell you who's their congressmen are, their senators are. They couldn't tell you anything. They couldn't tell you what the policies are. Those are not the ones you need to listen to. Those are just people that they're just, oh, you racist. You're a racist. And they can't even tell you why they think you're a racist. So, and don't feel bad about it. Just put it on them. Just put it on them. Why am I a racist? Tell me. And then they'll say like, well, because he's racist. All right, tell me why he's racist. They won't. Trust me, they won't have an answer. They won't have an answer. Most people just, they get their news from Twitter. They get their news from places that are in sound bites. But the actual facts and evidence, and when you delve deep and have a real conversation, a real back and forth, if you can have that with those people, it'll be okay. Most of us are reasonable and understanding. So you just need to find that within your friends. And when they say that to you, just go, do they know you? You know what I mean? Like when somebody calls you a racist, if they're supposedly your friend, they know you're not racist. It's like, if you know what I mean? It makes no sense for them to say that, you know? So I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't let it, I don't say not worry about it, but I wouldn't let it bother you. The ones that are calling you racist, like if all your friends think you're racist, you know, it's like, come on. I'm sure not all of them think you're racist. I don't think you're racist. You know, I think we're all misinformed about things. But if you have your reasons and you can articulate them, this is why I support this, and you can articulate them, who can knock you for that? If it makes sense to you, you can make it make sense to them, and they can just agree to disagree instead of it being like this polarizing thing where now if you support one side, you're this, and if you support the other side, you're this. We got to stop demonizing each other and just try to find some middle ground and some understanding. So good luck with that, my friend. All right, so I have a couple of videos, and let's see. Actually, I have 3 videos. Let's see what we got here. Here's our first one.
How's it going? My name's Kyle. My question is, should I move to Thailand once COVID lifts? I live in San Jose, California. Very expensive, very boring here. I actually met you. I used to work at the San Jose Improv. You're one of the coolest comedians besides Joe Coy. Anyways, a little backstory. My mother passed away 2 years ago, which really broke my heart. She told me before she died she never traveled, so I traveled the world. Somehow it landed me in Thailand. I fell in love with the people and lifestyle. And again, I could keep my American wage. I could work. All I need is Wi-Fi. And then my dad and my dog died last Christmas. So there's nothing here but my sister and her kid. They're looked after. Should I stay in America or should I move to Thailand? Let me know, man. Thanks.
All right. Man, first, thanks for reaching out to me. And the words you said about me, I appreciate that. And it's good to see you again, brother. Sad. I mean, that's just like a lot to unpack here, and I'm sorry for your loss. But I do understand what you did. You know, it's like my own personal story is, you know, my mom wanted to be a concert pianist when she was growing up and coming from a third world country, and she never got to pursue that. And then she had me, and so I got into entertainment, and part of my motivation to like make it and succeed was for her to be like, you know, you never got to live your artistic dream. So here I am living mine. So I get that energy of like, your mom never got to travel. So you're like, ooh, you know what? Let me travel. One, for my mom's sake. And also even for yourself to be like, hey, this is something that actually on my bucket list of things. Like, let me take care of things so I don't end up like what happened to your mom, you know? So again, sorry for your loss. And I think that you made a good choice. You know, you're living your life, and that's the best thing you can do. The loss in life is tragic, and we're never going to necessarily get over these things. And the way we do it is we just work through it through time, and we honor them. So I respect that. Honor your mom by traveling and doing that. Now, you went to Thailand and you loved it. Don't feel bad about that. If you have the means and the wherewithal and you have it all planned out, you got money in the bank and you could keep your job, all these things that you said, it sounds to me like you want to go, but you don't have, you know, the people that you had before, your mom and your dad and the people to be like, to bounce off of. I don't know if you have a bunch of, you know, a lot of friends, or if you have a few friends or even one good friend that you could just be like, hey, I want to do this because it feels to me like you want to do it. So my advice to you is just do it, man. Take the chance, take the shot. You love the, like you said, you love the people, and then you feel like you have nothing here anymore. Your sister and her kid are taken care of. You'll always be able to visit. You can FaceTime, you can Google Talk, you could, you know, there's so many ways to keep in contact with people these days. And, you know, I have my big brother from Big Brothers of America program. It's just somebody I've known for over 40 years. You know, he was a father figure in my life. he fell in love with a Thai woman, and he goes to Thailand for 6 months at a time, even to this day. So I know that people fall in love with that lifestyle and they fall in love with that place. And I say to you, like, hey, if you're feeling it, go do it, and feel happy about it, put a smile on your face that you're like, actually, like I said, you're honoring the people that have passed away by making sure that you are living the best life you can. So do you. And good luck, man. Good luck. All right. Here's another one. Here's another of our videos.
Hey, Eric. Thank you for the advice. I have a sister that is really negative, and I usually try to eliminate her from my life, but my 84-year-old mother guilts me into trying to have a relationship with her. So any advice that you are willing to give would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, this is tough. I mean, first I'll say this. I mean, the toughest thing about family is we don't get to choose them. That's why we choose our friends. That's why we end up sometimes having better relationships with people that we went to school with, people that we have like interests with, people that, we've met along the way, and we have these strong bonds. It's like people go into the military and those people become their brothers, people that you fight with, people that you go to war with, people that you like, literally and figuratively, those are the people that become the most important people in our lives. And I get that. Easier for me to say too, because I'm an only child, because I've never even experienced having a brother or sister. So I've tried to manufacture that with close friends. And I have some really close bonds and friendships with people. And I treat them like they're my brothers, family. So I get the pull of family, but it's just one of these things that, it's like at a certain point, I know that feeling of like, I don't want this person in my life anymore because they're not doing anything for me, and it's just a negative mess. So you can either try to work on that, and maybe you have, I don't know, but you have to work on your response first. That's what you have to do. If you're letting this person get to you, you have to ask yourself, why does this bother me? Why is this person getting to me? Why do I care so much about this situation? Deal with those issues, because you really want to get to a point where you're indifferent. When you're indifferent, it's like the opposite. Some people think the opposite of love is hate. It's not. Love and hate are so similar. They're still based in like really strong emotions. The opposite of love and hate is indifference. When you could just be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, no problem, all good, and it just doesn't bother you at all. So if you can get to a point where your sister just doesn't bother you anymore, you might be able to actually heal that relationship, or at least be able to be like, hey, you're being negative again, and I don't like it. And it's like, it don't matter what she comes with you at, no matter what she says. You have to find a way to overcome your feelings about it, so then you can now maybe heal that relationship or help her with whatever's going on with that. And in terms of like for your mom, I get that. And that's why you should do it for your mom too. So you don't want to be resentful. Like you don't want to have resentment for your mom, because you already have feelings about your sister that you're just like, I'm tired of this woman. But you don't want to resent your mom because she's making you do this thing. No, do it for your mom because it makes her happy. So therefore also make yourself happy by releasing yourself from these demons that you have about your sister. So that's my advice there. And, good luck, my friend. Good luck. Last one. Here we go.
Yo, what's good, Griffin? My question to you is, what's something that somebody can do if they never had a strong foundational support for a decision that somebody makes, or family members never really had your back on a goal that you've been striving towards? What's something that somebody can do mentally to kind of point them in the right direction? Bless.
Okay. So the real question is, I want to read it too, is that what do you do if your family doesn't really support your decisions, dreams, and goals? Well, this reminds me of the question that I had earlier. You know, it's like sometimes your parents, your family's idea of what they want for your life get to a fork in the road of the ideas and values that you want in your life. And it's really about how you feel about it. Like, if you think about it right now, this ain't really about like your parents and whoever not supporting you. It's really about how you feel about them not supporting you. And that hurts. It doesn't feel good. You're feeling like, oh man, I would really like you to support me, and they're not. So that's really the issue. But so the thing you really should think about is just, you know, how you could do it for them is to be successful. And my own example is when I told my mom when I was younger that I wanted to be a comedian, she was not happy. She just wasn't. She didn't think I would make it. It just was one of those things where she was like, you know, I know it. And she didn't tell me this till later, you know, but she was trying, you know, I just, the look on her face and the things she would say to me, I knew that this is not what she wanted from me. But it wasn't until she came to a show that I had this, like, it was like I took an acting class. It was a comedy acting class, and we had a showcase. And she was sitting in the crowd watching me. And I remember she telling me this, you know, I just was watching the other people, how they were laughing at you and the things that they were saying, like, oh, that guy's really funny. And it's the moment that she realized, oh, wow, I guess you really are good at this. I guess I have to support you. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I changed her mind. So that's all you really can do. It's like, you know, if this is your goal, your desire, your dreams, this is what you want to do to accomplish. No one should be able to make you feel bad about it. And your energy towards accomplishing that, it will be infectious, you know? And I understand that you want that support and you want and you feel like you need that. But you know what? You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. So you have to go out and prove it to yourself and prove it to them. And then slowly but surely, you will win them over. And if you don't, in that process, you're going to accomplish goals and dreams that are going to make you happy because it's your life. Family get in the way of that sometimes. Circumstances get in the way of that sometimes. You know, pandemics get in the way of that sometimes. But how we feel, the choices that we make, how we cope, how we deal with our own demons about these things, that is going to help you feel better and just live a full life, you know? So my advice is to work on you. That's my advice. My advice is to not let how they feel about it affect you as much as it does. Keep your eyes on the prize, and you're going to show them, this is why I did this. And if they love you, they're going to see it and be like, well, damn. Wow, I didn't, you know, they're going to realize they're the ones that had the doubt, but don't make them right by you having doubt. So, good luck with that, my friend. All right, guys, that's all we got for today for real world advice from a grown-ass man. I'll be doing it every week. Look out for my Instagram post. It's Erik Griffin on Instagram. I like to do it like that. I do it pretty quick. I really should just have an email. I need to make an email on my erikgriffin.com for people to send me emails. And if you do, you know, you can, if you want to send an email to me, eric@erikgriffin.com, just please put advice in the subject, and make sure you send me a short video that, you know, that I can just easily download and play if you want to play video. If not, just type your words out nicely and or wait for my Instagram post that I put up every week when it's time, and just get it out there. I wish I can get to every single one. I try to answer some of them on Instagram. You've seen that if you follow me. And if I didn't get to yours, I'm sorry. But hopefully some of the words I said to other people can help you too. And I'm just trying to spread love. That's all it is. I'm doing this because I feel like, you know, I like connecting with people, and we're all trying to connect in our own way. So, you know, it's just my advice. It doesn't, I don't think I'm right about everything. I'm just giving you my advice. If you say, you know, I don't agree with that, but thank you for, you know, the sentiment of what I'm trying to do is just spread some good cheer, good joy, and my 40 plus years of living. Here's the things that I have to say. So I do appreciate you guys listening and watching, and I hope you appreciated this bonus episode of Riffin with Griffin, episode 107, real world advice from a grown ass man. And make sure you check out this week's episode with the funny comedian actor Vincent Oshana, and you can catch me daily on Twitch at Erik Griffin Gaming, and on YouTube. I put videos up on YouTube also, Erik Griffin Gaming on YouTube as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.